Hey, this is This Eyes This, and this is my thoughts on the PlayStation 4 Part 2, and there's a reason for this. The main reason was that I didn't see the entire conference, and the main reason why I didn't see that was my computer was completely all fucking up because I was having some problem with installing the program and it was fucking up my whole Mac, so I had to reboot the whole system. I mean, only like a couple minutes after the conference started, and then I got to watch it. And the reboot worked, and the video came through. And for the most part, I watched it, and then I relayed my thoughts, early thoughts basically. And before I can do any real research or come out with the second video like I was planning on to, I was suddenly called to my house. I mean, to my mother's house because an ice storm was coming. And if you go to my YouTube page and put in the search word ice storm, we had it before a long, long time ago. I can't really remember back when, and I'm not going to bring it up. But yeah, it was pretty bad. But this time the ice storm wasn't so bad, and I managed to survive the night. Thankfully, because the ice storm didn't hit until the afternoon of the next following day. But I had to spend the night anyways because I'm in an apartment building here and not very well shielded. But in my mother's place, there's a basement. And if you're going to get caught in an ice storm with no food or water, you might as well go to a place where you can get something. Or, I mean, get food and shelter and all that because, and maybe a generator. So I just packed up my cat and ran out there as fast as I could. But the good news is the ice storm didn't. It hit and it was destroying some trees just like the last one, but not as bad. And in fact, the ice storm wasn't that bad. And basically, we did have a power loss, but only like for 5 or 6 milliseconds. So by 7 o'clock p.m., the ice storm was pretty much done. And tomorrow it's all going to just melt away. So, yeah, the ice storm didn't turn out so bad, except for the icy roads and being temporarily stuck, but that only lasted for 3 hours. And with no blackouts, we had plenty of television to watch and time to pass until the storm was gone. And since I'm on my mom's computer, I'm not going to sign her out of her little YouTube Google page and start using her computer to make my videos. That would just be mean, cruel, and stupid. So I waited until I got back to my apartment, and well, here I am making the video. So, anyways, the main reason why, as you heard, I didn't get the full specs down, but I got most of it down, and most of it was pretty fucking easy. And from what I can tell, it looks like Sony PlayStation 4 is not going to be as much different from the Wii U as you think. Or, I mean, yes, it's going to be more powerful, that's true. But there's a lot more similarities there, more than just in its absolute power. Basically, I just found out the CPU and the GPU are going to be put on the same caster die system, and if it sounds familiar, it should because the Wii U's GPU and CPU are pretty much in the same area in which they had done that exact same thing. In fact, I just found out that the PS4's CPU is a mobile CPU. The GPU, from what I understand, is powerful and a really powerful one. And the only way they can get away with having such a weak GPU, a mobile GPU, not GPU, I mean CPU, and have a powerful GPU is that they're going to be using the same GPU that Nintendo is using for their Wii U. And it looks like, yeah, well, It pretty much does. And of course, 8 gigs of RAM. And of course, there was somebody out there saying, no, but Sony should be using 16 gigs of RAM. Yeah, you know what? That ain't gonna happen. And of course, USB 3.0, which is better than the Wii U's USB 2.0. I did find their conference mostly good, as I said before, with the games and presentation. The only thing missing was the actual freaking console and the price. If they're not going to show me the price, at least show the fucking console. I did not understand that. The games were impressive, and if the price is good, which I'm hearing all rumors that it's going to be good, I'll probably get me a PlayStation 3. I mean 4. Thur. Because I know Sony does not want to repeat the $5.99 price tag that nearly destroyed their company. Let's face it, PlayStation 3 has nothing but a huge, huge train wreck for Sony. Oh, and if you people think that putting your CPU and your GPU into the same die system is bad, well, and you have an Xbox 360, the new Slim models, throw those away because that's where they got the idea from. Yeah, putting them all on the same die system. Yeah, Microsoft kind of thought of that one first. Oh, and something else. And I stated this in the last video. We already know that the GPTPU is in OpenGL 4.0 as well as in the OpenCL, which is a part of OpenGL, which was created by Apple and given to the Kronos Group. But GPGPU is also going to be is also inside DirectX 11, which basically says that the next Xbox probably will be utilizing a weak CPU with a strong GPU sort of approach as a way of the way of saving power on their next Xbox. Basically, we're going to see the same type of CPU and GPU inside the Xbox 720, and it looks like it's pretty much inevitable. It's just most likely going to happen. Oh, and to illustrate the whole Sony not using used games, I pretty much figured it. In fact, I even made a video stating that neither Sony or Microsoft would be that stupid. Yeah, I hate Microsoft, but even I'm saying Microsoft is not going to be that stupid. And they're not. Closing out the whole used game market and saying you can't use used games or blah blah this and blah blah that would be a stupid move for either company. And as much as I don't like Microsoft, yeah, I admit I hate them, even I know they're not that dumb. And of course, Sony got up there and said, yeah, we have some brains in our heads too. And one man about me not being impressed with Diablo 3 being on the PS3 and PS4. First of all, their PC slash Mac OS 10 model didn't exactly go well. Not really with the gameplay, but mainly due with the whole auction mess. And well, there have been some complaints about the system, genuine ones. But what makes this really why I called the whole Blizzard being up there and showing Diablo 3 on their consoles a fail is because pretty much everybody has already beaten it. And this Diablo 3 has been out since May of 2012, and pretty much everybody's already beaten it. So, what the fuck is it doing there? Yeah, what the fuck? Oh well, it's not completely bad, but I mean, I did like the other demos for the other games, and when they were saying that whole you can run the game with no speed times and all that, I didn't really buy it. I mean, I have to have that technology in my hand to see if it would actually do well and do as it's promised. And not only that, Sony's been known to lie before, and they were pretty adamant with their lies. Say like, cross game chat, where they said that they could get cross game chat on the PS3, By the way, it will definitely be on the PS4, but the PS4 is going to have way more memory than what it needs to run cross game chat. But anyways, they said that cross game chat they could get it on the PS3, and then they even said at one point that they were getting so close to it that it's going to happen maybe tomorrow. And then finally, they just admitted the truth that it was impossible. It's never coming to the PlayStation 3, and it never will. It came to the PS Vita before it even came to the PlayStation, to the bigger PlayStation consoles. I don't have much information on the graphics processor, but it does look good. It looks strong. And as for the DDR5 memory, that's good too. Mainly because Sony's fucked up with the XDR RAM they put inside the PlayStation 3. It's good RAM, but DDR is actually much more cheaper. But due to the fact they had to use such high end RAM on the PlayStation 3, I guess they had no choice with the high end RAM on the PlayStation 4. Even though there will be no backwards compatibility between the PS3 and 4, and no PS2 or 1 games, I guess. Even though you could emulate them on the PlayStation 4. But I'm not shocked. Let's face it. The PlayStation cell processor on the PlayStation 3 is an absolute fail. I mean, the patent was originally owned by Sony and IBM, and then IBM sells their patent to Toshiba, and now it's Sony and Toshiba. And back when Sony and IBM ran it, they were praising the cell processor. But now it's Sony and Toshiba. I'm not hearing shit except, hey, it's in the PS3. Please buy it. So, yeah. I pretty much saw that no backwards compatibility coming a mile away. I have no clue about the Microsoft Xbox. Either way, the CPU is probably going to be either a PowerPC processor or a Intel processor, according to what the rumors may be. And there are some saying AMD processor. Who knows? We'll see. Thank you for your time.